In this video, we created a new page to display the contact, and also we made some links functional. So if you click on any link, for example, any of the contact would take you to the contact page. And also we made the logo functional. If you click on the logo, that would take you back to the home page. And also if you are on the contact page and you click on the contacts button from the sidebar, it would take you back to the list of the contacts. So other than that, we also created the dialog section. So if user clicks on the label icon, then it would show you the label picker dialog from where you can select any label and you can close the dialog as well. So let's begin. Now I will create the contact page. So if user clicks on any of these contacts, then that would open a contact page. For example, in this website, I have clicked on this contact and now I can see the single contact page. Here you can see the information about that contact. And after that, we will work on the edit contact form. So from this page, you can see there is an edit button. If user clicks on that, then an edit form would be opened. So that is the next step after this one. So let's begin. So first of all, we need to create this section. So right now, this is what we have so far. We have a list of the contacts. So next, first of all, we need to create a new page. Right now, we have only one page, that is index.html. To create a new page, let's go back to the VS Code. And here, like this, I'm going to create another folder that would be pages. So other than the main page, all of the other pages would stay in the pages folder. So I'm going to create a file that would be contact.html. All right. Next, I'm going to copy paste this HTML code. For now, I would remove the unnecessary code after this. So I have pasted the same code from the index.html. And now I'm going to make changes. So here we are doing the same things like the index.html. We are adding the head. We have a body. We have a placeholder for the header, and we don't okay. We don't need some sections. For example, obviously, we need the sidebar placeholder because the sidebar would be loaded in this section. So we will keep that, and we will also keep the content section, but we will remove the table section because we don't need that element inside the content. To see the difference, we will open this page in our browser. So contact.html. Okay. So I can see that it is not working. The reason is that this page exists inside the pages folder. So we have to type the path for the folder. All right. Let me see. The error has gone, but nothing is being shown here. So I want to see. Actually, I have removed everything. That is why nothing is being shown here. So now you can see the content is here. But the interesting thing is that I cannot see the sidebar and header. These sections should be loaded, but these did not load. The reason is that now we are inside another folder that is pages. So we have to adjust our paths in our link and the scripts. So let's make those changes. For example, if you scroll down, you can see I have specified that I want to access the common.js. And the issue is that right now we are inside the pages folder. So we have to go back one folder back from this folder, and we have to go back to the root directory. So to make that jump, you have to type // that would move you back into the previous folder and into the parent folder. and after that the path is correct, because if you go out from the pages folder, you will in the same directory where index.html exists. So the remaining path would be correct in this way. So let's add dot slash again. All right, so now if you reload, you will see that uh, okay, let me see. So some things started to work, but some things are not working. The issue is that JavaScript is trying to load the header, but it is failing. We have to see what is the reason. So let me see. Before doing that, let us get rid of this uh, unnecessary code. We don't need the list of the contacts. We don't need the get selected function. Also this is not required. Also, we don't need this function. Remove it. Okay. Table and all right, we don't need all of this code, so I'm going to remove it. So we don't need this section as well for now. We can add it later if we need it. Now, inside the common.js file, we are having issues because common.js file exists uh, in the root directory. I mean, it in the assets directory. So we added the path for loading the HTML files for Ajax with different paths in mind. So now it is behaving strange issues for us. For example, uh, here we are expecting that whatever page that is adding the common.js file should be on the root directory, because we are considering that if it is in the root directory, then the path of the header file should be common/header.html if you are in the root directory. But if you are not on the root directory, if you are in the pages directory, then with that context in mind, it would not be able to find this file, because it is saying you that inside the pages folder, look for the common folder, and in that folder find the header.html file. That is incorrect. So we have to find out some better approach. So let me try to add slash to see if that fixes the issue. Okay, yes, that has fixed my issue. If you want to use the root directory, for example, you are in the pages folder, but you want to, for every path, you want to pick the path from the root directory, then you can add slash in the front at the beginning. So this way you can see it is working. Although there are some issues about the images, we will fix that as well very soon. But before, let's add the sidebar as well. I have added the sidebar. Sidebar is also now working perfect. So this approach is better than before, because now we don't depend on the path. I mean, you can put your common.js file in any HTML file. So it does not matter that where does that HTML file exist. It can be in any nested folders, and this common.js file would just work fine, and this would not crash again. All right. Next, let's look at the header.html file. Uh, in that, there are some images that are not using the root. So for that, just add the slash like we did before. Similarly here, in this way, it would always pick the assets folder from the root directory. That is this one. Okay, now you can see that it is working perfectly. Awesome. All right, next, if we look at the layout, we can see that in the contact page, we have a kind of header. and we have a content of this page. So let's work on that. So here I'm going to create a div contact header, and also I'm going to add an ID on the body selector, and that would be contact page. And after the contact header, I need contact content, okay? Or you can call it a contact container, because inside of it we need this uh, box with the border, and we can call it div dot contact content, okay? All right, next, if you observe this header part, this header has one column, actually one, two, and three columns. So let's add three columns div, or actually in the header, and div dot avatar. So this one for avatar or picture or contact picture, and second one for the name section, and third one is for the action section, okay? Okay, now in the avatar, I would add the selector, and in the name section, let's add a div name, and actually in the name section we have two rows inside that section. So one is for name and second one is for the labels section, okay? And at the end, in the action section, we have let me think. For now, to keep it simple, we will just have edit button, and we can also create a delete button on the same area. So for now, let's create a button for edit, and I can name it class edit button, okay? And the other button would be delete button, and you can name it delete. Okay, so before moving further, let's style the header section first. So if you look at that, this one is display flex. So if you make it display flex, then it would bring everything inside one row. And let me add the name here, Ayaz Tech. Okay, now I'm going to copy the ID, that is contact page, for this page, and let's go to the SASS file that we are using. At the end, I'm going to add some comments. Okay, I added this huge comments block so that we could see this section very easily. And now I'm going to add the ID. So inside the contacts page, we have a contact header, and we want to make it display flex, okay? Okay, you can see that now these are aligned properly that we want. Next, we want to style the avatar. So inside the header, we have avatar, and it has a width of, let's try 200 pixels. Height should also be 200 pixels, and background should be orange, and or whatever, you can pick any color you whatever you prefer. By the way, did you notice that we don't need to design avatar? Avatar was already designed by us, so it is already working for us out of the box. So instead of doing adding any other more styles, I can just adjust the dimension. So I have increased the size of the avatar. There is another approach. Instead of giving it width and height and then font size, I can use another property, that is transform scale 1. So let's see how it works. Uh, no, I'm going to double the size. Okay, you can see that now it is increasing the size and also font size. But still, I don't think this is perfect, because using transform scale, it is causing us some problems. So like you can see, it is now overflowing the header. That is not correct behavior. So instead of fixing these kind of issues, let's stick with the other method that we were using by increasing the font size. Let me see. So this is the, I think that these width and height are too much. So let's decrease the dimensions. Okay. Next, I need to increase the font size as well. Okay, I guess it is almost very close to the perfection. All right. Next, I'm thinking that there should be some gap above the content header. For that, I would add padding top 20 pixels. Okay, and now I need gap between these sections. For that, I would add, because we are using the flex property, so we can use the gap 30 pixels. So that would fix a lot of things for us automatically. Uh, but still, we need some padding on the left and right, especially on the left. So I'm going to add the same padding to the left as we added on the top. So, all right, maybe a bit further should look good. So let me add 40 pixels. By the way, we did not work on the mobile version yet, so we can work on the mobile version as well after some more videos. So right now we are just trying to focus on the layout, the basic layout, so that we could work on the backend Node.js project as well to make it functional. Okay, so next, this section should be aligned vertically in middle. For that, let's copy paste the selector for that section. That section is the name section. So let's add it here. The name section should have display, flex, height should be 100%, and it should be align item center. Okay. Nope, it did not work like we want. So let's see what is the issue. You can see that the name section is actually class, not an ID. So that is why it was not working. Okay. You can see that we have added the display flex, that it has applied. We also have the height, but it still did not work. So let me see what's going on. Display flex. Okay, we should not have used the height. Okay, so let's remove the height 100% because it would take the height automatically from its parent. That is the default behavior of the flex. And we will keep the align items center that has fixed our ratio. Next, we need to increase the font size of this name. So let's try font size 35 pixels. 35 is too much, so let's try 28 pixels then. Uh, yes, 28 looks, I guess, better. Okay. Next, we need to design the labels section. So you can see we have a label section already here. In that, we need another div that would be labels. So and in that div, we will have another div that would be called div.label. So this would have multiple labels with the same class. And I can say label 1, label 2, label 3, and label 4. Okay. Right now it is looking very bad. So let me see. This font size should be on the name class. Okay. And next, we need to add flex direction to column because we want this kind of direction. Okay. Next, we want that the label should be aligned vertically. These should not be in multiple rows. These should be adjusted in one column, in one row. So there should not be multiple rows for every label. For that, I'm going to add labels and then add display flex. That will fix the issue. All right. Next, we need to understand why it is behaving like that. I mean, why there is gap on the left side. Actually, we have changed the direction to column. So that is why the alignments now are working in the reverse opposite direction. So we have to switch that. So instead of align item center, we should say justify content center. Okay, I guess now it is working correctly. After that, we need gap between the label section and the name. For that, I'm going to add gap 20 pixels. 20 pixel is a bit more than we want. So let's try 17 pixels. All right. Now we need to design the labels. So right now these are the labels without any borders. So let's add some borders and the border radius. We have the label class. We can add some padding. First of all, we need to decrease the font size. So let's try 12 pixels for now. Okay. And now I want to add the border. 1 pixel, sorry, 1 pixel solid. Let's try CCC as the border. And we need some padding. 10 pixel. Also, we need border radius to 20 pixel maybe. Let me see. If we compare with the original Google contact, we can see that the padding or the vertical padding is less than the horizontal padding. For that, let's use this kind of syntax uh, instead of, okay. So I have decreased the padding from top and bottom. Now, if you look at that, it is now touching, the labels are touching each other. So we should not let that happen. So for example, if you create another label, testing, if you save it, you will see that there is a very good looking gap. So for that, let's add a gap here, gap 10 pixels. Again, this gap works only if you have display flags on your parent, on your element. Okay, I guess the gap should be a bit less than this one. Okay, I guess that is appropriate. So next we want to change the background color if user hover on this label, and also there should be a cursor label, sorry, cursor pointer. So pointer, and if user hover on this label, then the background color should be uh, light version of CCC. So I'm going to drag this one to a little bit up to have a lighter version. Uh, I guess this is now acceptable. So after that, we need another button. Uh, you can call it drop label picker button. Okay. If user clicks on the label picker button, then a drop down appears, and then in that drop down, you will see all of the labels listed in that list, and you can pick which label you want to attach with this contact. So if you uncheck it, you can see that if you the bottom section would replace the button with the apply one. If you click on that, normally we have create label button, but if you make any changes, then that replaces the original create button with the apply button. So that is also very interesting. Okay. So let's design the label picker button. By the way, sorry about the spellings. I used incorrect spelling, so let's fix them. Uh, Actually, I guess yeah, this is incorrect. So it should be LABEL. So we have to fix the selector in the CSS file as well if we used that. I guess we did not use the label selector, so that is why we don't have to fix anything there. Anyways, so next in the labels section, I'm going to add another div or button. We can use a div, and you can call it label picker button. Okay, and if you in that, I'm going to add an icon. And to pick an icon, we should open the Font Awesome website to get the icon name tag. So this is the icon that we use for the label. Okay, I have added the label icon or tag icon. And next we need to design that icon. For that, first of all, we need to fix the alignment. Right now, these two sections are showing in two rows. Both of these sections should be in one row. Okay, for that, if you look at that, so we have the label section. We have to give the display flex property to the label section to fix the issue. For example, if you add the display flex, that would immediately fix the problem. And if you want to fix the alignment further, you can just add align item center. And now we need gap 20 pixels. Okay. So I guess that is actually this gap is too much. Let me try to 10 pixels. So now I want to use these styles that I have added in the inspect element. So just select them and right click, click on the copy, or you can also Command C from your keyboard or Control C from your keyboard to copy the styles, and then go back to the index.scss file, and inside the name section, after name, I want to add uh, label section. and paste the style that we just copied. And also all of this section of code, these selectors are inside of the labels section, so I can move them inside of it so that we can see which code belongs to which parent. Okay, all right. This is looking good so far. And next, we need to design the label picker button. Let's call it labels picker button because you can pick multiple labels from this drop down. And now I'm going to add border radius 20 pixels, actually 50%, and the width should be 30 pixels, height should be 30 pixels, and border should be 1 pixel solid gray. And I also want to make display flex, align item center, justify content center. Okay, the width and height is bit more than we want, so let's add 25 pixels. Same here. After that, we need to change the color of the label. That would be blue, this blue. So we should save this color in a variable because this is the color that is being used mostly. For example, you can see that this color is being repeated. So we should not repeat the code. We should save this color code inside a variable so that we could reuse them again and again. And also it would be uh, easy to understand for developers that what's going on in this code. So type primary color. So I am considering this as a primary color. And now copy this variable and search for this color code to see where we are repeating this. Okay, just select this and Command F. That would let you search. So you can see it is here. I just replace the color code with the variable. Similarly, here I am replacing it. And similarly, at the bottom, we want to use the color of the button. The color of the button should be primary color. Let's see. All right, you can see that it is now using the primary color. Next, if user hover on it, then it should change the color to the same background color that we're using for the labels. So for that, and hover, the background color should be same. So I'm going to copy paste that code. Now look at that. Also, we need to add the cursor pointer. So you can see we have a cursor pointer. So it gives you more feeling of a button. So it feels like it's a button. Otherwise, it was not like that. Another thing I am feeling is that the background color is not so dark. We are using too much dark. Okay, so let's try to reduce the opacity of this color. I'm going to add 0.5. So this fourth parameter of RGBA function is actually the opacity of the color. Let's try 2. I guess it is acceptable now. Okay, so next part before designing the drop down, because drop down might take too much time. So before doing that, let's work on these buttons, edit and delete. So if you look at that, the buttons are aligned bottom, and also I guess these are aligned to the right. So let's uh, let's copy the selector for that section. So we have action section, copy it, and label speaker button. After So this is actually after the name section. So I'm going to collapse it and let's paste the selector after it. If you observe it from here, it is actually a class. So we should not use the ID selectors. Let's add dot. Okay. Next, we want to add display flex and align items should be end and justify content should also be end. Okay. All right. We need to design this button. So this time we will design this button in such a way that it could be reused because we may need this kind of button again. So let's design. So actually, I will give it a class that would be primary button. Okay. Now I will style this class. So whenever we assign this class to any button, it would automatically give those styles to that button. So let's go to top to define the global styles. Uh, okay, here I am saying that I need a button that should have a primary color in the background. So background color should be primary color and the color should be white. And also the border radius should be 2 pixels and the padding should be the vertical padding should be 5 pixel and horizontal padding should be 20 pixels. Okay, and the border should be none and box shadow should be none. I'm just trying to remove all of the default styling if there are any applied by the browser default. So also we don't need any kind of outline because normally we can see outline on a button when you click on that. So I don't want that as well. So let's try. Okay, you can see we have it, but border radius did not work. Let's see why. Because we did not add the border radius. So let's add it. Border radius 5 pixels. Um, it looks like 5 pixel is, I guess, too much maybe. Also, I feel that the vertical padding is too less. So let's increase it to 10 pixels and see. Uh, Also, I think the horizontal padding should be a bit more than now, maybe 25 pixels. Okay, let's keep it. Next, I want a danger button. By the way, most of our buttons would stay same. So let's create another class that will be button. So we will share some common styles with the help of this class. Okay. So for example, I am going to add a button class and I would migrate all of the common code from here to there. Okay. So in this way, it would automatically apply. I didn't understand. In this way, it would automatically apply all of these styles if you add the button class, and the other specific styles would be applied with the help of the specific class. Like for the primary button, it would add the primary background color. Okay. Similarly, I'm going to add another class that would be danger button. So we will use this class to delete something. Let me see if Google has any red button, a red color, or maybe we should not use the red color. For the default button style, we can add some default colors. For example, the color should be gray, the border uh, should be 1 pixel. Actually, we already have the border. So this was added incorrectly. So here we can add border 1 pixel solid, this, and with the primary button, I don't need any border. Okay. So now if you look at that, the delete button already has some default styling. Okay. And now it is not looking good. So the reason is that maybe the background color has gray. Maybe we should get rid of the background color at all. So let me see. Okay, background color should be transparent. Okay, and the text color maybe should be black, dark gray. I guess this is fine. And next I want cursor pointer. And also let's add some default font size. 20 is too much, or maybe 12 pixels. And there should be a gap between. By the way, it feels like that delete button is bigger than edit button. The reason is that edit button does not has not any border around it, but delete button has a border. That is why I think it looks like it is bigger. So let's try to solve that problem. Instead of saying border none, you can say the border color. You can change the border color. So this way it would keep the same size as of the button with border. Okay, now you can see that now it looks like both buttons are equal in height. Now we need we need some actually before that doing anything else, we need to add hover effects on both of these buttons. For that, if user hover on the button, then uh, for the default button there should be light gray color in the background. So still it is too dark, so let me try to add 0.1. This is also dark, so I'm going to add another 0 before 1. I guess this is fine. Next, for the edit, let's change the behavior for the background color. If user hovers, then background color should be white or transparent, and the border should be actually border color is already primary, so that is fine. The text color should be primary. Okay, now let's see. Okay, this is perfect. Now our global styles are completed for this button. Next, we can add some gap in the action section. Let's add gap 20 pixels. 20 is too much. Let's try 10 pixels. Okay, that is fine. After that, you may notice that there is a gap between these two sections. So maybe we should add some width to this main element. For example, this is the content header. You can add or maybe let's keep it as it is for now. We need to add a border button. So for that, scroll up and see the section contact header. There, add border, bottom 1 pixel, solid, light gray. Okay, next we need to improve it by adding some margin or padding below it. For that, let's add padding bottom 30 pixels, and I guess 30 pixel is good. After that, we have a content section, and we are calling it content container. Okay. So in the content container, I need padding top 30 pixels, and then I need to design another section that is for content. In this content, let's add some data so that we could design it and see the demo. I'm calling it contact details, like in the Google Contacts website. And after that, we need so for every item, let's create a div with the name, with a class field, and in every field we will have icon, and sometime we may have icon and sometime we will not have the icon. So I can create a div icon container, and also I will create another section value. Okay, in this section you will have the value. So right now we need the email icon. So let's go back to the font awesome, and we are going to search for the email. So we have the email icon here. So this outline matches with our desired icon. So let's copy this one. And after that, I'm going to add any dummy email, testing at iostech.com. Okay. So this is how it looks like right now. We will improve it further. So next, we need to copy paste the field section. For example, here I can use, I want to add the phone icon. So let's search for the phone. I guess this is fine. So let's copy this one and replace the icon with the new icon. And here I will add some dummy number. Okay. After that, I'm not going to add each and every field because that would be too much. We just need to practice how to develop Google Contacts app so that you could learn how to create a full stack app. So all of fields are not compulsory. We can skip. So for example, we just want very important fields. For example, email is important, phone number is important, and you can also add the web field. So phone number is added. Next, I'm going to add the website URL. So and here we should add another text email. Maybe we don't need email text here, but we need the labels for every field. So for example, this is a phone. I would say phone. And here I need website. And here you can say https iostech.com. And we can add an icon for a website. You can search for a website icon. For website or web, or maybe it should be a globe icon. Yes, normally we use this icon for a website. Okay, so click on that and copy this icon and replace this icon with the globe icon. Now, if you save it, you will see all of the icons there. Okay, now we need to design the field selector here. Add field selector and add display flex. With that, you will see them in horizontal direction. And now we need gap of 10 pixels. Okay, and okay. After that, we need to change the color of the icons. And not only that, we need to add some margin below the phone number, or maybe we should add margin below every field. Okay, I'm going to add padding bottom. 4 pixels maybe. Okay, and the font size should be smaller, so I'm going to add font size 11 pixels. 11 is, I guess, too small. I'm going to try 12 pixels. 12 is also too less. I guess this is sufficient now. After that, we need to put the email in the link. For that, type A, and in the href, sorry, type mail to, and paste the email and paste the. So the benefit of is that of this href mail to is that if user clicks on that, it would immediately open your computer's mail client to send email. So it would pre-fill some fields for you. And now the color does not look good. Maybe this should be a global change for the email. So I'm going back to the index.css. I will scroll up and I will add the global styles for the anchor tag. For the anchor type text, there should not be any kind of text decoration on the anchors in our website. So I'm going to add text decoration none. That will remove the underline. And after that, I want to use the primary color for the links. Color should be primary. Okay, let's see if that how it looks. Well, that is perfect. But we want to change the background color, text color, if user hovers on the link. So for that, I'm going to add a and hover. If user hovers over the a tag, then I want to change the color from primary to something else. So I'm going to pick a bit darker color than the primary. So I'm going to paste it. So if you hover on this, you will see the color picker. Just go there and move it down to get a darker color. Okay, so you can see the color is being changed. So that is perfect. After that, we need to style the heading H6. So let's go down, and here I will add H6. Oops. And I don't want any kind of margin right now. I can add it later, but right now let's remove the default margin. Okay, now let's think about the margin. There should be a little bit margin at the bottom. For that, add margin bottom 20 pixels, and we want to increase the font size. The font size should be 22 pixels, and 22 pixel is too much, so let's try to add 15 pixels. I guess 15 is good, maybe. Yeah, 15 is good, but maybe the font weight should be less than right now. Font weight 200 maybe. Uh, let's try 400. Let's try 600. Let's try 500. 6 is okay. Okay. The margin is too much, so I'm going to reduce the margin from 20 to 10 pixel. All right. After that, we need to add border around the main container. For that, I'm going to add another selector, that is contact content. Okay. So go back to the index.css file, add that selector for the content, and move all of the code below into this content and this selector, because all of these contents are the child of this selector. So I'm going to add the padding 20 pixel. Now I need border 1 pixel solid, and I want border radius to 5 pixels. Okay, this is not looking good. This is looking worst. So let's see what we can fix here. Also, there is too much margin above it. That is because of the padding top, maybe, or what? Let me understand what's going on. Maybe there is a margin above a top on the heading by default. So let's understand that. Yes, I'm right. So we don't need margin top. So I'm going to remove the margin top, 0 pixels. Okay. So now this is how it looks. I guess it is much better than before, but still need to reduce the width. To reduce the width, I'm going to add display inline block. Okay, with that method, it would consume only the space that is needed for the content of this element. So let's add it here as well, display inline block. Okay, perfect. I guess now it is looking perfect, and we can continue working on the label selector dialog drop down. Okay, we already have worked on the drop down, I guess. Not this one. Where did we work? So let me see if we worked on the drop down somewhere. If we have made any drop down, then we can reuse it. Otherwise, we can create a new one. So there is no drop down here. This is the drop down, but this is not the drop down that we want. Maybe we want a different kind of drop down. This kind of. So if user clicks on that, then it should show this. Or maybe instead of doing that much hard work, we can obviously do it, but we don't want to spend too much time on these things. So we just want to rapidly move toward the actual development on the back end as well, to make this application functional, so that it could be more interesting for you. So instead of using this approach, we can use a dialog. So if user clicks on it, then a dialog would be appeared. I'm preferring dialog because we already have designed a global design, global CSS for our dialog. So we can recreate it very easily. For that, uh, I'm going to show you where we have added the global styles for the dialog. You can see these are the styles that we have already created to create a dialog. So we can create it again very easily. So let's do it then. So here I'm going to add a div that would have dialog as a selector and test. I'm going to add active class for now to see how it looks like. No, I cannot see it. So what's going on? Let's look at the CSS again. This is a dialog. This is a dialog. And this is the active class on the same. So normally it should work. See what actually, sorry about that. We are on the wrong page. We should be on the contact page. Oops, it is in the pages folder. Okay, so something is not wrong. The reason is that it is working correctly, but we did not add other components or elements of the dialog. So we need to add them as well. For example, if you look at the CSS, we should have a dialog overlay element. Okay. And after that, we also need a div for title, content. So let's keep adding them. Next is dialog content. Okay, you can see something has started to appear. We should have added this one as well inside of the dialog after overlay. And all of these things would go inside of this container. Okay. Did you see how it is beneficial to create reusable global code? We are now reusing the code. That is being very helpful for us to speed up. So after that, if you go back to the CSS, we will see what else is missing. We don't have dialog content. Actually, we have dialog content, but we don't have the dialog footer yet. So let's add that div as well. Inside the dialog footer, we can have two buttons, submit or create or whatever. Let's add them. So I'm just going to add a button, and that would say submit for now. Okay, perfect. After that, inside the title section, I would say label, pick or label. Okay. And if we look at that, if user clicks on the create label, then it opens the label creator dialog. Okay, we will do that as well. So we have a title pick label, and after that, we should display the list of all of the labels. Okay, and along with the submit button, I want to add another button that would say create label. And here you can say apply instead of submit. And there should be a space after plus button. Perfect. Now I want to add this list. So this should also be very easy to add. Inside the content, I'm going to add label, and in the label we need icon section. So let's add icon section, and also we need the label section or text, and after that we need the selection icon. Okay, so we have these three sections for every label. So now I'm going to copy paste the tag icon. So this is the tag icon. So let's copy it, and I will paste it here. Okay. After that, we need to add the text for the label 1. And here we need to add the tick icon, and the color of tick icon would be primary. I'm also going to create another helpful class that would be primary color, and I would use the color is equal to primary color variable. So now you can just give this class to any element, and that color would be applied to that text of that element. Okay, so let's add it here. Now I need to find out the tick icon. So let's go back and search for the tick. Okay, we have a tick icon that we can use. Just click on that and copy paste the icon and paste it here. Okay, you can see we have a tick icon in the primary color. Now we need to style the label to make it look better. So the font size should be smaller and the color should be gray for the icon. So let's do it. Uh, I'm going to add an ID to this dialog that would be uh, label picker dialog. Okay. So this is also going to be a global because we can load this label picker anywhere in any page wherever we want. So this can also be reused. So we will keep it in a separate. I mean, we will keep it global so that it could be reused. Okay. And inside the dialog, we have label, and label should be display flex. Okay. And there should be a gap of maybe 10 pixels. Maybe more than 10. Okay. And the icon container should have gray color. I guess I did not use the correct selector. So let's copy paste. So this is the icon section, not container. Okay. This gray color is maybe too light. Maybe let's try to make it a little bit darker. This is, I guess, too much dark. So let's make it a little bit lighter. Let's keep it as it is. And after that, I want to decrease the font size. So for that, add text selector and give it the font size. Ten pixel, 12 pixel is too less. Maybe let's try 14 pixels. I guess that is perfect. Next, we need the width of the every label should be 100%. For that, add width 100%. I don't know what's going on. Maybe the text section should flex grow to 1 so that it could consume the available space automatically. Okay, that is perfect. Awesome. Now we want to add hover effect and there should be a cursor pointer on it. So I'm going to add cursor pointer and I want to add hover effect. If user hover, then the background color should be light gray, like this one. What happened? Okay. Hover effect is not working. Let me see what's going on here. Um, Actually, I have added the hover selector somewhere else. It should be inside the label. So we are adding hover effect on the label, not on the dialog. Okay. Now you can see it looks very bad. We have to improve the styling, right? Because, for example, there should not be padding. To fix that, uh, let's remove the padding. Let us see where this padding is applied. This padding is applied on the dialog content. So inside that, I'm going to add a selector dialog content. And here I would add padding left 0 pixels, padding right 0 pixels. Okay, and now we should add padding inside the label selector. Padding left 10 pixels, padding right 10 pixels, and this is how it would look. Okay, This is a very famous issue that you can see right now. To fix that issue, right now we said that the width should be 100%. And if you said we also need a padding, then for left, right, we need 20 pixel of padding. So it is not taking the space for the padding from the 100% width. It is taking extra width to use to add that to apply that padding. So we want to consume the uh, space of the width from the width pixels or percentage instead of consuming extra 20 pixels. For that, you can add box sizing, border box, and see the magic. All right, the padding should be a bit more than now. For that, I am going to add 15 pixels. Actually, let's add it in one line. For that, I would say we need 5 pixels and 15 pixels in horizontal. I guess that is perfect, but I guess the background color and the height should be more than now. I am going to add padding top 10 pix or 5 pixels and padding bottom. Actually, uh, we have this area where we can define the vertical padding. So I'm going to add, instead of 5, I will try 10 pixels. This looks very strange. It does not look like it is in middle. So let me see what's wrong here. So this is the label, and we have over. We have display flex. So we should also add it. We should also add a line item center to see if that works. Actually, if you observe, it looks like the padding is more in the bottom than top. Okay, I see why. Because we have padding here, but we are saying that the vertical padding should be 10 pixels, but we are again reducing the padding top to 5 pixels. That is why it does not look in the middle. So perfect. Now it is fine. After that, I'm going to change the background color. So RGBA, black color should be 0001 opacity. Uh, this is now too light. I cannot even see it. So let me try 9. No, I guess this is better. All right, so if you hover it, you will see this effect. After that, I am going to copy paste the label to see how it looks like. Okay, you can see that it is looking good. Okay, if user clicks on that, uh, then we should immediately close this dialog. Okay, so for example, let me see, we have a function close dialog, maybe dialog hide create label dialog. We have this. We can also create a reusable function. Right now, this function cannot be reused. I'm going to create such a function that could be used anywhere with any dialog. So I will create function hide dialog, a closed dialog. Okay. And here I want to get the dialog element. Okay. So in this way, we will not need this line. We can just use this line directly. Okay. And now you can reuse this function everywhere. For example, instead of doing that, you can just call this function hide or close dialog and pass the dialog that you want to use. Okay. All right. Now, if you go there on the label element, I will add an event. For example, on click, I want to call this function, and here I would say this dot uh, closest. I want to select the closest parent with the ID dialog. Okay. This would then pick this element, and this element would be passed to this function. Let's try if that works. You can see that it is working perfectly fine. So let's copy paste this click event on every label. Okay. So if you click on any label, it would work fine. Also, we should show this dialog if user clicks on that. So for that, I will create another function in the common.js that would say show dialog. Okay. And instead of remove, I would say I need add. So similarly, I can reuse this function here. I can pass the dialog, and that would show the dialog. Okay. Now here, if user clicks on that, then we should show the dialog. On click, then I want to open this dialog, and I will pass document.query selector, and here I can pass the ID of the dialog that I want to open. So the ID is label picker dialog. So let's pass it. Okay, now let's try it. Let's remove the active class from the dialog so that we could hide it. Now, if you click on that, you can see that it is being shown. But still, the issue is that if you click on the overlay, then dialog does not hide. So we should make that functional as well. So for that, you can add the click event. You can say, yeah, you can just copy paste this line there. If user clicks on the dialog overlay, then it would just call the close dialog function and it would close it. Okay. So I can click on the overlay and it is hiding, but if you click on here, it will not hide it. By the way, another strange thing that I can see, there is a cursor pointer everywhere on this dialog. That is not right. It should be only when you hover on the label. So maybe we added something wrong. So for example, look at that, we added the pointer on dialog, but the pointer should be on the label. So okay, now that is looking more correct. One last thing that I want to implement is that I want to link I want to make these links functional. For example, if user clicks on the context button, then it should go back to the home page where you can see the list of the context page, and from there also if you click on the logo, it should take you back to the home page, and from the home page, if user clicks on any contact, then this contact page should be loaded. So let's do that very quickly. First of all, open the header, and here on the logo, I would add on click event, and window dot location should be, so I would just add slash index.html. Okay, let's try if that works. Yes, you can see it is now taking me back to the to that section. Also, I want to add cursor pointer because now the logo is clickable. So let's add that. Uh, okay. After that, I also want to link this to the text page. In the sidebar, we have that link. So here, if user clicks on that, then say similarly, we want to redirect window.location and slash index.html. Okay. So if I click on that, you can see now it is taking me back to the context list page. Also on the index.html, we have the context. So this is the row. So if user clicks on anywhere on any row, then we should redirect. So I'm going to add the click event here on click, and here you want to window dot location is equal to, it should be uh, pages, and inside the pages we have contact dot html. Let's see if that works. Okay, okay, perfectly, it is working perfectly. So now you can see that it is the layout side is working perfectly. The dialog is being shown and it is being hidden. So we will work on it further when we will make it functional, like whenever we want to load the label from the database. If user picks this label, then that label would be loaded in this list immediately. So that will be done in the future episodes. So for now, this is all that I wanted to achieve. I will be working on the create contact form on the next video and other features in my next video. So thank you for watching my video. See you next time. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the bell icon to get all of the notifications for my upcoming videos. Also, please like and share my video.